Welcome to Heritage Acres Homestead. I'm Chas. Here you'll find our family as we strive to live a life that pleases the Lord. We do our best to make the most out of what we've been given, so we'd like to invite you to come along and join us on our journey. Hey y'all, and welcome to Heritage Acres Homestead. I am Chas. I'm glad that you're here with me this morning. It's on a Wednesday. That's not my usual day, huh? It is a special Independence Day video because I'm making a patriotic dessert to take to our Independence Day gathering, and I thought I would share with y'all how I was doing it and thought you might want to bring it too. It's easy, it's tasty, and it will feed a crowd. And so let's get to it, shall we? And just a little backstory before we get started, because y'all know me, I've always got some kind of story to go along with everything. But this recipe or this dessert was something similar that brought back to family reunions. I think it was Aunt Lucille. Could have been Aunt Betty Joe. If any of the families watching, you can let me know which one it was. I feel certain it was Aunt Lucille. Anyways, it was something that we had almost every year at our family reunion, and that was always in the summer, and it was always with the fresh fruit that was available. And so usually with strawberries, but what we're going to do today is I'm going to use blueberries and strawberries to give it that red, white, and blue, because the white's going to be a fluffy cream cheese sweet middle. It's a layered dessert. Oh, it's so good. And of course, you know, here in the South, we have funny names for everything. And so it's called strawberry pretzel salad. And I know, you know, that's kind of salads most of us can get on board with, right? But this one is going to be a patriotic summer salad is what I'm going to call it. So for this dessert, we need a pretzel base or crust. And I like to buy, of course, a non-GMO pretzel. You can get whatever kind you want, but don't get like a flavored one. Don't get like mustard flavored or anything. That ain't gonna be good. But you want 2.5 cups of pretzels before, like you're gonna measure it before you start, you know, mashing them up. So let me show you what I've got. I've got little, the kind of call them tiny twists, and I just kind of press some down into a cup. So there's my cup. So I'm gonna get 2.5 cups, and then I'm gonna put them in a baggie, and we're gonna pound them and get them crushed up. I don't have a food processor anymore. I don't have a food processor or a blender. The one I had was Mama's, and it gave up the ghost a while back. But it was one of those real good old-fashioned ones that could get the work done, buddy. So I'm not crushing them right now. I'm just kind of pressing them down into the cup because you want a pretty full cup. So there's 2, then another 1/2 cup. So just any, you know, you could get the sticks, you could get the rods, you could do any of the pretzels you want. All right, so I've got my pretzels in a bag, and I'm just gonna take my rolling pin and I'm gonna mash them up. So I'll probably do this with it muted so y'all don't have to hear all the banging. All right, y'all, so I've got the butter melted in a little bowl, and then I put the sugar in, mixing that together. Well, the butter's not completely melted, but it's fine. It's mostly melted, and it'll finish melting. All right, now we're gonna add our pretzels. And I don't like them to be completely annihilated. I like a little bit of the fact that you can still see it was pretzel. So we're gonna just mix that up together. And then take your casserole and lay it out in the bottom here. Our water's just about boiled. So by the time I finish this, we'll bring it off the boil and we'll add our 6 ounces of strawberry gelatin. So I'm just taking a fork. You can go ahead and do that, it's fine. Oh. I'm gonna take my fork here and press this down into the bottom of the casserole dish because we're gonna bake it for about, initially I'm baked for about 10 minutes, but I like it a little bit more crispy, and I found out if you baked it a little bit longer, it's crispier. Just don't let it burn because there's, you know, a whole 8 ounces of butter in here. I don't feel like this is enough pretzels. I may have to add some more. Carly, will you give me that bag of pretzels? I'm gonna add some more. Bag of pretzels up there. Because I've been using the pretzel rods, and the 2.5 cups was plenty, but maybe this is different. So I'm gonna just add another handful. Now this again shows y'all just how I cook. A lot of it ain't by measuring. There's another good handful. I'm just gonna break them up. And then I'll just mix it in with all this and hope for the best. It'll be fine. There we go. You know what else would be good in here? Some pecans. Pecans and pretzels. That'd be a good base. So if you were to add pecans and pretzels, I might add just a wee bit more butter. But I think that'd be real good. You know, of course, you would want to crush them up real good. All right, that's plenty. There we go. We got our base. We're gonna stick that in the oven, and then we're gonna grab our water off the bowl and add it to our gelatin. Be careful, this water's hot as blazes. And we're gonna add our Jell-O, and then we're just gonna set this aside. And because it's got to cool to room temperature. If I was a professional, I'd have all this done so you didn't have to see all that mess. But y'all know good and well I ain't no professional. All right. Gently, I'm going to stir that up. And I'm going to stir it again in just a little while, because last time I had some the gelatin that kind of wanted to just stick on the bottom. It didn't get dissolved real good. I mean, it still worked, but you want it nice and smooth. So there is that. I'm gonna set this out right there, let it cool, clean up my mess. The crust is in the oven. Now I need to get the middle layer, and that's what I work on the last usually, because we want this to cool down. We gotta have the crust out of the oven, and it's gotta be cool. And all the while, we need a block of cream cheese to be coming up to room temperature. That way it whips up real good. So we're gonna get all this cleaned up, set out my set out my cream cheese to get room temperature, and then I'll show y'all how to make the middle layer and finish up the top layer, and then we'll assemble it. And this is a good make-ahead dessert because you want to have it in the fridge for at least 6 hours so it'll set up real good, but the longer the better. So, you know, our thing's gonna be on Thursday like most people's, so we want, you know, I'm gonna have a good day for it to be in the fridge, and that'll be great because then it'll be real good and cold and set up. Now we're gonna add some heavy cream to our mixer and go ahead and mix it up into whipped cream. My brain went blank. I started looking outside, and y'all know I can't keep my brain straight all the time. So I'm gonna get that. You only have to use about 8 ounces. I always make more whipped cream simply because I love it, and I like to make it and have it in case Denver comes over because he loves whipped cream, fresh whipped cream. Now, and that's one thing I love about this recipe is it doesn't say add Cool Whip. It says mix whipped cream and add a little powdered sugar to it and make it sweet and add vanilla, which, I mean, makes the best whipped cream already. You know that. So, if you just absolutely do not want to use homemade whipped cream, you don't have to. You can use Cool Whip, but, you know, I suggest the whipped cream. So let's get that made. Once you start seeing your cream thicken, you want to go ahead and add your vanilla and your powdered sugar. Turn it back on and get it to your stiff peaks. Now when you got something like this, that's when your whipped cream is ready. If you made more like me, you can go ahead and have some. Good gracious, that's good. Oh my word, I wish Denver was here. I'd have to make more. But, so now we're going to set this aside till our cream cheese is more room temperature. Then we're going to add it to our whipped cream. Alright, now that our whipped cream is done, our cream cheese has kind of gotten a little more room temperature. I'm going to add the cream cheese to the mixer and add the rest of the sugar. You add about 1/4 cup while it's mixing the whipped cream up, and then you add a little bit more to the cream cheese mixture. Don't want to come off my spoon. And I know in my original recipe I said to just use like part of it is granular and part of it is powdered. You could use all powdered sugar. You could use all granular sugar. It's up to you. But I think I like powdered best. because that way there's no grittiness, just in case some of the sugar don't dissolve. All right, let's get it mixed. All right, so everything is made, crust is made, the white middle is made, the top, here's our gelatin mixture, and then we've got blackberries, blueberries, and some strawberries. And so once everything has just cooled on down to room temperature, you're going to take your strawberries and slice them. And we want to just, normally the original recipe just calls for strawberries, but we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do a triple berry. So some blackberries, some blueberries, and some strawberries. And I'm just going to add that, but we just need about 1 pound of berries. So depending on what you pick, you can add whatever you like. So these came off our bushes just a couple of days ago, and they're really yummy. I've been putting them on salads. But because they're, you know, they're small, we're not going to cut them up. So, like I said, this kind of looks patriotic with the colors, so that's why I decided to make it ahead of time and to share it with y'all, because I think I made it for Memorial Day. It went over really well. Then I made it again at my mama's birthday. It went over well again. So now we'll do 4th of July, but we'll have a lot of different berries in there this time, not just strawberry. There's a big old berry. All right, let's add a few of these. Because you want this kind of suspended throughout the gelatin. And some of our blueberries. Shannon and I was laughing the other day. He was out mowing and I was in the garden, and the chickens, when they're out, of course, if any falls, they're out there getting a hold of them. But they were jumping, trying to get blueberries off the bush. They were jumping up in the air, and that's a humorous sight. All right, so I'm gonna just mix that up. Now this blue is looking a little purple because I mixed it with the red. It'll be good. You get the idea. You get the idea, and that's what we're going for. All right, move those out of my way. Let's spread this. Now this is our mixture of whipped cream, cream cheese, powdered sugar, and vanilla. Just want to make it, you know, a nice even layer. I'm such a messy cook. I've already got stuff up here on my apron. But, I mean, I have been up since 4:45 this morning, so I've been busy. Did all my laundry. Got it folded, washed, folded, put away everything. All right, getting that spread out. And you can be real particular and come back in here with a clean rag and go around it if you want to make it a little more neat and tidy. I ain't doing that though, because honestly, you don't want to waste none of that just by wiping it off. It's too good. All right, there we go. Make sure that middle had a little bit of a hump in it. All right, now gently we're gonna ladle our fruit out just so I make sure it's kind of even all over. And then we're gonna pour our gelatin into the pan. And that's gonna set up and congeal in the fridge. And then on the top, we can decorate it with some more fresh fruit and some more whipped cream to serve it. Now, you probably ain't gonna be able to see it completely done because I gotta take it somewhere Thursday. And normally, I would probably not fix it until tomorrow for Thursday. But since I'm trying to get it made so y'all will have something to go by, it'll be just fine. Y'all get the idea. I already have some gelatin trying to set up on the bottom of my pan. I'll let it sit for a while. I'm gonna scrape that out and get it into the pan too. So now I can just move things around a little bit or add more after I see just how much. I think I'm gonna cut up a couple of more berries and bury them over here in some of this gelatin, and maybe add just a few more blueberries here and there. Blackberry there and there. And I am going to go with the rag and I'm going to go around this top because the top is a little bit messy. Now, if it's down there close to where the food is going to be, I'm going to leave it. But just right around the top, I want to clean that up just a smidge after I get everything in. Make sure you add any of those new fruits. Kind of make sure they get down there in that gelatin. Okay, here we go. All right, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoy, and I hope this will help make your Independence Day celebration even more festive and special and tasty too. So God bless you, and God bless America.